Okay, everyone, this is Hellhawk here. We are going to be walking through Drake Defensecon. This is actually one of the more exciting days for me. I am going to be playing the refresh battles later, trying to get myself a Kraken. It's one of the hull limited ships that is going to be a beast. It's the only player accessible like true carrier that we know of in the game currently. But yeah, Drake has in lore has a history of doing things separately from Invictus because they don't have any military contracts and they're never invited because they're Drake. Kind of like the rebel of the manufacturers in lore. So they rent out a hangar. And we are in Orison at August Dunlow Spaceport, and it's trying to kill me already. Hold on, let's make sure that it's there. There we go. And let's see what Drake has in store for us today. I need my helmet. I like that helmet. We're going to put that helmet on. Okay. So technically, if you wanted to pick up any of the other ships that were available this week, you should still be able to grab them off the website. I know tomorrow everything should be rentable from the consoles at the Invictus platform. And let's see what we got in the platform for have a buck. Don't have a Herald. Let's go ahead and rent that. Why not? This would be a good ship to get out of the Orison atmosphere in, if it decides to load ever. Anytime now. Okay, yeah, we're done with this. We'll come back to that later. Let's take a look at some ships, see what we have. Ooh, I like what I see already. So, we're gonna start at the left side here. We have the new ship in the game, or new drivable vehicle in the game, the Mule. Did I get one? Yeah, it's 40 bucks war bond. I have part of my thing is I'm going to have a lot of industry ships, including a ton of cargo ships, including that guy right there. So I am hoping that there is going to be some real functionality behind it. If not, it's going to make a great LTI token. I mean, I heard that there's no extra protection for the cargo, and that it's not like you can stack shit or lift things. It's just a box up front between these two arms. In fact, will it let me in? No. Box up front between the two arms. Delivery mission cargo. So it looks like 4 of the tiny boxes on either side. That's kind of cool. And the one crate in the back. Now, the one thing they did say is skid steer, so you have a pretty maneuverable setup, but it's not really meant for off-roading. If your box keeps hitting the ground, it's going to blow up. So, something to keep in mind. This is more of I have the shit on a concrete slab and I'm just moving it from point A to point B. Kind of an interesting little guy. I'm fine with the concept. We'll see how useful it actually is. My only thing is, like, I guess if you're doing the delivery missions and you wanted something, this might come into play. But I'm like, can you imagine trying to unload that thing? So that has like 500 plus cargo, and this can only hold 2. Like, I feel like the tractor beam's gonna get nerfed to hell, and if it doesn't, I don't see the need for this. But I guess we'll see. I guess we shall see. Next, let's just keep going down this line. This has got to be the Cuddy Black. One of the most popular ships in game. I know that it has a bad rap depending on who you talk to, but really, one of the most versatile ships in the game. 40-something cargo, 4 size 3 guns in the front, decent complement of missiles, turret up top, ease of access. It's got jump seats in the back. It can hold like a mule, or it can hold a rock if you want to do ground mining. It's really hard to go wrong with this thing. Just a quick tour. There's not a whole lot to it. Another thing that's kind of nice. So again, the pilot seat kind of rises up when you get in there. You got a pilot, co-pilot, and gunner. You have 2 beds, couple weapon racks. More than likely, this is going to need another internal polish pass at some point. So you got internal storage here with these lockers, but and I say it needs the polish pass probably for the components because I don't seem to be able to access any of them. But overall, it's a cool ship. It's a workhorse. Now they did something. I actually like what they did to the flight model. But if you're not careful, it'll bite you in the ass. When you're in VTOL and you're swapping from VTOL to regular flight, you have to be careful. Because if you are boosting, it will potentially put you in a flip. And again, I'm fine with that. I like the fact that all these ships have these little tweaks and these little nuances to their flight model. It gives them the feel that they are different in some way. We'll just open that back up for the next... Well, I guess we won't open it back up for the next person. Does this one work? Okay, screw it. The next person is not getting in that ship. The Drake Cutlass Steel. This thing is freaking useless. So if you buy it in-game, I 100% support your decision. If you buy it with real money, I can't understand. It's like $240. It's Drake Cutlass Black. But it's got a server full of seats. This thing melts. This thing does not take damage. The steel is not steel armor plating. It's just a color. So if something looks at you sideways, you're gone. And so is the server full of Marines that you have on board. If you got like 5 or 6 of these, and you split your assets over each one, maybe, but the server cap is not anywhere close to that. So 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 6, 12, so it's 18 seats, plus the pilot, the co-pilot, the gunner, and then if you want to have door gunners as well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. I mean, this is a server for the people. It's almost the same argument against the Valkyrie. You can't really have that many people on one ship because then if you do, you have the entire server. But, I mean, at least the Valkyrie can take a little more of a hit than this thing. Not much more, but a little more. I thought this was a joke when I first heard about it. I would have rather have seen... I don't know. Anything but this. Anything. Like, give me a Drake purple and make it a frickin', like, drug bus. Like, I don't know. Like 60s hippie design. Give me something. Or a Drake gold. Where the center of this thing is just a giant spa. Like, I just... This is, to me... This should never have happened. Anyways. Moving on. We've got the Drake Herald here. Now, data running is not in the game. But this thing is an engine with a seat on it. It's fast as hell. I think it looks pretty cool for what it is. It's got missiles internally. It's got 3 size 3s. I actually watched Avenger 1 do some duels in this the other day. It's hilarious. You just cannot escape from this ship. I can't wait for the day when you can... Oh, there it is. Let me enter. Where this ship actually has its own use, though. Has a couple beds. It's got its support seat for listening and grabbing data. it's a cool Drake ship. I can't really. There's not a whole lot else I can say about it. I think the only dedicated data runners in the game, I think you've got MSR. It's got a bunch of server racks. You got this thing. You've got. You know what, the Caterpillar has data racks in it. I don't know if it will be capable of doing more than just like having internal support stuff, but it has a little server room on there, and we'll see what other ships end up coming out. This is the Buccaneer. If you don't like survivability and you like just pure raw firepower, this thing is great until it shoots one of your engines and then you basically spin out and die because you cannot eject. But ton of forward-facing firepower. Size 4 up top. Can also do 2 twin size 2s if I remember right. Size 3s on the the underneath the wing between the engine and the cockpit, and then you also have size 1s on the wingtips. Couple missiles. Again, typical Drake. Bare bones, big engines, lots of guns. I do wish... No, I was thinking maybe for the Kraken. I'm curious how many of those you can actually fit on a Kraken's setup. So this is a Cuddy Blue. This guy is the cop car of the verse. I actually do like the rounded cockpit better than the standard one. So this has a docking port on the side. I'm assuming for like investigations, and after you scan someone and find they have illegal goods, you can, hey, you're docking with me, or I'm blowing you out of the sky. You've got prisoner transport tubes. So it looks like 12 of them, I'm assuming. Yep. And then you've got your standard turret, 2 beds. What I want to do, I want to see if it'll let me turn on the lights. Because the lights really are the best part of this thing. It's working. No! You know what? I might rent one later. We can take a look at that. I think they did a great job with this ship. And even though the functionality isn't there 100%, this is a variant that makes sense to me. I'm screwing everyone over by closing all the doors. Now we have the Cuddy Red. It's another great ship. And in fact, this was one of the more popular Cuddys before patch 3.15 because they allowed you to spawn in those med beds. Now they don't. They only treat, I think, tier 3 injuries and stabilize other people that are more injured. Again, docking port's kind of cool. There is no turret, but you got a bathroom. And then the turret, in fact, let me get in a seat so I can show you. The turret is replaced with a scanner. And so this is, again, search and rescue. That's your additional radar dish. So, again, overall, another cool variant. The gameplay for this, for half of this, is actually in the game with these seats. The next big thing is we got to see what happens with scanning. So it's going to be, hey, here's a wreck. Let's scan the wreck and see if we can find any live bodies in the black. So again, we're halfway there. I am really interested to see what they do with scanning gameplay. I think that's going to make or break a lot of the ships that we've seen so far. And this is new. I like the ship. So again, as an industrial player, I am a fan of the Vulture. And I actually got the War Bond for this when it first concepted. Now, a little disappointed with what we've seen with salvage so far. The original idea behind salvage was that you were going to be able to use laser beams to cut up the ship. You were going to be able to use blasting charges to blow off chunks, and then these guys are a series of tractor beams, and then, you know, so the chunks fly, and the tractor beam takes them and pushes them into this chute, and the chute chomps them up, and there's a mechanical process that turns them into giant scrap bales. And what we've seen is that there's two beams that don't cut anything, they just kind of suck the paint off of a ship. I don't like magic beam gameplay. I think that if that is a part of the process, I think I'm okay. But if they turn this into, I got magic beams, and that's it, I'm sorry, I will not be playing salvage. And all my salvage ships are gone. But again, let's just take a look at the ship. Eventually salvage will come out. Alright, so I'm loving the aesthetic of this. It's Drake as shit. I just tubes hanging everywhere. These guns, I mean, it's got guns. That does not mean you're going to be using these. If you get in a dogfight, you want to get the fuck out, because that you're not going to come out ahead. Okay, so I do like having. Wait! Did I just jump through the glass? Wait, hold on. We're gonna get out of the seat. That is there. Oh, the door was open. Okay, shit. I almost lost my shit because I'm like, I just dove through the extra protective layer of glass on this thing. Okay, so that's the door open. That makes a little more sense. Alright. Okay, so you can't just walk past it. And the door closed. No! I need to get in the seat. Okay, so I'm starting to find things I'm not a huge fan of. Just throwing that out there, CIG. Oh my god. Someone let me out! Damn it. Come on, give me the enter seat thing. Fucking A. Can I glitch it? Can I glitch it? Am I... I got it. Okay. Note to self. Do the animation. Because there's not enough space to get through there without risking death. Okay. Button placement, eventually some of these buttons might work. I like the MFD thing. Kind of hope one of these is like a camera to view the shit going in, or I don't know. Like, I wonder, I actually kind of wonder what the smaller MFD is, because you haven't seen that on a lot of other ships. Exit ship or exit, so we're going to exit to rear. And let's see what we got here. So we've got scanner. Okay, cool. Computer. So, I mean, basically, I don't know what the hell the computer's going to do. We've got a... We've got a restroom with a shower. We've got the bed. We've got the bare bones. Okay, I actually like this. This is the first time I've seen a Drake ship that has access to subcomponents. I like it because it's minimal. It's minimalist. It's a fucking flap. Like, you know, you got the Crusader ones that get the cool doors. Drake's like, we don't care about that shit. It's a plastic cupboard. Okay, and then we've got, what do we got here? We've got weapon racks, okay, because figured you're going to need a tractor beam gun. And then you're going to need an actual gun in case you're forcibly salvaging something. That's not pirating, it's forcible salvage. Life support, okay, cool. Let's close that. And then let's wait. Okay, so they have basic light control. They don't even have the fancy shit that the other ships have. Alright, let's go downstairs. Can I? Yep. Whee. Alright, and then this is, again, basic as shit. So we've got, let's close that. This is shield generators, fuel tank. That's how big the fuel tank is. Holy shit. Ships in the future are very fuel efficient. That's a tiny ass fuel tank. Unmarked, whatever. And we've got a compressor. Now, I am a little surprised that it only produces one. It almost looks like it only produces the one square at a time. So you gotta go up, you gotta cut the shit. And then after it hits a certain level, you gotta come back here and say start, and then eject once it's done. I'm assuming. And then you have to manually pick it up and place it on the... I kinda wish this was just all one big conveyor. And it would just convey them out. So I'm assuming that that is the cargo space and this is the walkway. Either way, I think they did a fantastic job with this little guy. I really like it. And as much as I'm annoyed with them as from what we've seen on salvage, I think once we get more details on the more advanced salvage gameplay, these will be as common in the versus the Prospector. Now the question is, can you salvage a ship that is still fully functional? Like start stripping the paint and shit off of it. Alright. This is my favorite Drake ship, aside from the Kraken will definitely be my replacement. But the Caterpillar. Up until the Hercules, this was the highest cargo capacity ship in the game. It is supposed to be one of the most common ships in the game, per lore. And one other thing, if you looked at like the mule, there's words I'm looking for that I can't find, the mule promotional material. All of these platforms are actually elevators that come down. Of course, we don't have the functionality yet. It's been a long time since the cat got any love whatsoever. But the other thing is these individual pods are supposed to be modular. Now, we've already seen one of the examples in the game. There's a mission, I don't know if it's still around. I never really did it when it was here. But you could board a Caterpillar that had a bunch of prisoner transport pods. There's if you've never heard of a guy, Astro Chronicles, he's got a YouTube channel. Take a look at that. He's got so many different modules that he's concepted out. CIG has a lot of older documentation where it may not have been promised, hey, this is what you're getting. You know, they just showed some of the art and things that they were thinking about. One of them was a freaking broadside module where like these four things on the other side. So this one has a walkway, but on the other side there's nothing barring that entrance. There's like crazy large guns that stuck out of the side of this thing. Practical? Absolutely not. Cool? Yes. If they ever came out with that, I'd get that in a heartbeat. Only way into the ship so far. Oh yeah, twin size 4 turrets. It's got one underneath, and it's got one up at the front. I'll show you when I get in the ship. This thing used to have size 5 guns on it. It was a little nuts. So they brought down the guns when they did the balance pass a while ago. I can't remember. It's been a bit. But I guess the atrium has weapon racks, has the crew hab, which has 2 bunks, kitchen, toilet. Is that a shower? That's a shower. Kitchen, toilet, shower. I mean, I guess it's like cheap-ass TV. Something you can get the news on. And then each compartment pops open on either side. And I'll just not show you. Oh, there it is. Closing animation. I mean, kind of cool. Kind of cool. And then each of them have the walkway. And we're just going to go to the very front because I want to show you that. It's a slightly different module. So in the nose, this is supposed to be like a dragonfly bay. Now you can't have cargo up here, but you have space for 3 dragonflies as well, which is Drake's ground hover bike. This up here is the access for the front top turret. And then again, this is supposed to, you see the actuators here, this is actually supposed to go down. Now, what's nice about having dragonflies is that you don't need that to work because the dragonfly's a hover bike, so it can make its own way. Let's go ahead and quickly take a look at this forward access. Again, turret here, let's just go ahead and sit in this. We'll give a quick once over of the ship. Okay. So the other thing to keep in mind now is going to let me... I don't think it's going to let me move. There it is. Okay. So do you see that pod on the left? That's the command pod. That's where you fly the ship. Now, that is eventually, at some point in time, going to detach. So you can have this thing on like cruise control, moving along, with gunners fighting, firing, and then the command deck can pop off and turn into a nasty little fighter to help repel enemies. So again, a lot of cool concept stuff in the ship. It's been out forever, and we really haven't seen any of the new features though. Now I believe everything is waiting on modularity. On John Crew, who's the guy who heads up vehicle design for CIG, he said something about a lot of the resources being pushed over to a different project, which, you know, again, they change priorities all the time. I'm just hoping that in the next year or so, we get to see some of the concepts. We get to see some of those things come to life, especially the docking pod, because that to me, so they already have half the tech in the game for that, because you can dock an Andromeda and a Merlin, right? Now, the one thing I think is holding this up is that when that pod is gone, technically, no one has control of this ship. And we know that docking while moving isn't a thing. So, are they going to make it so that when you disembark, this ship has to be the main hull has to be stationary? How does this? And then the other tech piece would be probably once it undocks and redocks, making sure that that pod now has control of the other of the ship, because technically right now the Andromeda and the Merlin are 2 separate entities, and all you're doing is requesting to dock. This would be not only am I docking, but now all the control systems answer to me, and I don't think they've done that for anything yet. So here's the turret access for the bottom. Here's the engineering room. I think this is sweet as hell. Again, it's Drake as shit. Big, large Caterpillar, like diesel-looking engines. I'm sure that whoever pulls a short straw and ends up in this room is gonna fucking hate life because you're boiling to death because nothing's covered up. There's no like safe room like in a Carrack where you can watch the engine room from behind a sheet of glass. It's like, no, if something goes wrong, you're standing in the death zone. An engine rod is going through you. Let's see what these are. These are probably fuel tanks. I'm assuming these are fuel tanks. Engineering console back here. Again, engineering gameplay isn't in the game, but this, I like the multi-screen setup that Drake has. It just looks cool as hell. And then we have 2 ways up. We've got the ladder, and we've got the stairs. Now, I think the stairwell, like, again, this is kind of old school, so the stairwell is freaking massive. I do like the fact there's 2 ways to get around the ship. I really despise when it's one way and it's like an elevator, and there's no backup. And then if something happens to your power, like, you're screwed. Like, in this case, let's say a fire starts and blocks one of your routes, at least you have an alternative. Let's go up here real quick. So this is going to be more component housings. I love the Drake aesthetic with, you know, bare cables and pipes and shit. Okay, so this is engine cell. Is that a power plant? That's kind of cool. I don't remember that being a physicalized item before. And this is that server room I was talking about. So I don't know if the Caterpillar is also designed to be a server, like have some data it can transfer. But I mean, technically it has the facilities here, so we'll see if that ends up being something the Caterpillar is capable of. More components, I'm assuming. We don't really know because, like, nothing's interactable yet. They probably have to go do a pass since they've added things since this ship was concepted or released. Okay, so here's that hallway. Off to the right, we have a tractor beam. So this is another thing that kind of bugs me about the mule. They show the mule working with the Caterpillar and picking up boxes and putting them on the ramps or taking them off. It's hard to tell. But my question is, as a Caterpillar pilot, where does the tractor beam come in? Is it just pulling shit from space and throwing it in a hangar? Is it unloading the cargo? Like, hey, it's on the elevator section there, just pulling it off and putting it on the ground, the mule takes it from there? Like, again, tractor beams just seem to be the way to go, and I don't... Again, magic beam gameplay, I know I said I didn't like that, but at least tractor beam kind of sort of makes sense. In fact, I'm really surprised that the mule doesn't have a tractor beam. Or a workable fork. So again, we won't know what the hell is going on there until Cargo Refactor, and probably not till long after that, because they're going to have to figure some shit out. But yeah, I thought that was interesting, and I think there's another tractor beam on this module. We'll have to take a look. So I just wanted to show you, the upper passageway leads into this corridor. Now, this is here as an EVA hatch. They haven't come up with push-pull mechanics yet. I don't... And if you look at ships like the Retaliator that had a horizontally mounted EVA port, they concepted that out. So the new Retaliator Gold Standard, they got rid of that thing, like, burst a hole in the wall and put it on the side. I don't know if they're going to keep this. It'll be interesting to see what they do. But this room is basically just the EVA chamber and goes into the rest of the modules. So nothing fancy here. Now we go into the command pod. So this is the thing, as you can see, it's got like a inner and outer, what do you call it? Airlock. So this is the thing that pops off. Now you have your standard Drake style cockpit. You have a decent amount of firepower. I think it's 4 size 3s. Yes. No. 2 size 3s, 2 size 2s on gimbals, I think. I can't remember. I might have to look at article later. But again, it's not gonna be Dogfighter of the Year, but if you're trying to keep some asshat off of your cargo ship, the extra firepower never hurts. It would make the people attacking you have 2 targets instead of 1. Splitting their focus is always a good thing. Now you've got some support stations here. So if you remember, that module has 2 beds. I'm assuming that would be for the front and the bottom gunner, or maybe one gunner and 1 engineer. This has 4 stations. Down here, again, cramped as hell. Typical Drake. You've got a weapons rack off to the side. You got a shower. You've got 2 more racks. Another weapons rack. Table, kitchen. Tractor beam? I think this is tractor. Yep, another tractor beam. So you get the tractor beam on the side. Now the one thing I couldn't really wrap my head around. So if you have pilot, co-pilot, and on the other one you had maybe gunner, engineer, I feel like you're missing some crew, or you're missing the capacity to have as many crew as you kind of need to get this ship going at full capacity. So this is supposed to be used as like an emergency bailout thing too. Let's say the main hull is destroyed or you've been overrun. Your 4 people can hop in here and get away. If you have a pilot, you have 2 gunners and an engineer. I guess that's 4 people. I just feel like the ship is probably best crewed by 5, maybe 6. I don't know. It could just be me. But anyways, that's the Caterpillar in a nutshell. And we're gonna cheat by jumping off the side and hoping to Christ that the gravity doesn't kill me here. Right now, when you have these rooms full of cargo, the only way to traverse. Okay, so right now, you can walk through the cargo, right? But once they fix cargo so it's physicalized, the only way you're going to be able to traverse this area is actually through that catwalk. Something to keep in mind. Okay. Let's see what else these guys got. I know that... oh, I'm going the wrong way. I know that they have to have a Hollow of the Kraken. That's their premier ship. I want to say it's probably the most anticipated capital ship in the game. I know a lot of people are Idris fans. I managed to get an Idris in the F5 Wars Sunday morning at 3 a.m., the final wave. I was very excited. But really, the carrier is, to me, the carrier is where it's at. Oh, hey, so I almost forgot. Dragonfly. 2-man crew. Small guns on the front. Pretty fun to fly, actually. You can do semi-orbital insertions if you do it right and the ground is sloped the right way and you know what you're doing. But yeah, this is more of just a basic ground transport vehicle. Scout. I would not call this a combat ship. What I have done, if you're doing illegal things like you're not supposed to, like turning off satellites, you can pop one of these into a lot of the ships in game that have storage. You can scoot out, get out of this thing, and turn off the satellite, get back in it, and go back to your ship. But yeah, and then they did a Gravlev update, which actually made these bikes feel a lot better. So that's the Dragonfly. Corsair. The Corsair is Drake's answer to the Connie, apparently. And the 400i. I had a 400i. I wasn't huge on it. It's got two... The 400i is, I want to be comfortable going A to B and doing bunker missions. You're not really going to use it to fight. This thing you're using to fight. Let's just see what this says. Blah, blah, blah. Striking out, facing, blah, blah, blah. Large cargo hold, stowing a... So, this one can carry a small vehicle. 400i could only do, like, a bike, which... It was really cool, but it wasn't really functional. It's supposed to be kind of an explorer, but it's called a Corsair. This shit's a pirate raider. That's what this is. All the forward-facing firepower. Yeah. If a crew in this decides to pick on you, you better have some decent fighter support, or you are screwed. Tons of missiles. I think it's 4 size. I'm actually gonna look this up. We're gonna check out the. So this was Star Citizen. I mean, we can just go here. That's fine. Ships. Games. Nope. Pledge store. We're going to see what the concept says. It's got Drake. Where the hell is Drake? There it is. Okay. And now we need... No. There we go. Exploration, my ass. 4 size 5... So it says size 4 gimbal, but everyone's going to throw size 5s on there. And then 2 size 4s, size 3 gimbal, but yeah. So this already outguns the shit out of anything in the game with forward-facing firepower. I think the 600i with 3 size 5s used to be king, and you have the Andromeda that has 2 size 5s and 2 size 4s that are gimbaled. This is just ridiculous. If it's in front of you, it's gone. In fact, I wonder how this thing's going to be ERTs. I feel like the Hammerhead's going to have a rough time if you have a pilot that knows what he's doing in this thing. The turrets on the sides are size 2s. I don't know how to feel about those. I almost feel like one on top and one on bottom would have been better. I can't, and it's really hard to tell whether they pop out a little bit or what kind of firing arc they have. But we'll see. Hopefully we'll see this thing this year. I feel like we will. They've been showing it nonstop. It's not like it's the size of a frickin' BMM. Banu Merchantman, for those who don't know what that is, it's a massive transport and bazaar ship that they've been working on for forever and a day. And then you got twin size 2 in the back. They have more detailed looks at this online. I think it looks like a cool little raider. I may get it, but the asymmetrical wing design, I feel like they're trying to get too fancy and trying to rip off Star Wars too much. If they would have done that wing design, that wing, the one on the left, for both of them, and like what they fold in when you land, I think that would have been badass. And it would just look really cool. The asymmetry, I just feel like once they get a flight modeling game that's a little more, what's the word I'm looking for, refined than the one we have, that's going to be a pain in the dick. But again, we'll see what happens. I just don't see them. They may have to like gamify the shit out of this thing to make sure it flies right. Alright, and then the last holo suite, 99.9% sure, is the Kraken. Yep, it's the Crack. Give him a crack. Okay, so Kraken. Wow, this is a terrible view of this ship. And we can read here, but it's basically, it's capital, it's ready to do shit. It's got a lot of firepower, a lot of storage. This ship, in fact, we're gonna take another special trip to the website. In fact, you know what? We're gonna see if we can find drink Kraken. What is it? Brochure? I think this is what we're looking for. No, this is not what we're looking for. Where's the brochure? Release the Kraken. Is this it? This looks like it. Okay. Yeah, power. So, anyways. There's 2 variants of the Kraken. There's the regular one, which is the one I want. And then there's the floating, I think someone said earlier, like a floating Deep Space Nine. Like it's got a bunch of shops and shit on it. It's got a black market shop on it. But this, so 2 medium platforms on top, and then 4 small ones. Now keep in mind, even though technically this is only built for 6 ships, if they continue with the it sits, it fits thing, I've seen people put 48 arrows on the top of this. You know, the models of the arrows, the wingtips folded up. 48 fighters! Plus, you've got a couple internal bays, and that's where you can do a lot of the repair stuff. So, already, to me, I'd rather have one of these than a Javelin. Javelin's cool. Once the modules come in, it's going to be even better. But 48 arrows. Like, come at me, bro. How many Eclipses can I fit in this? How many size 9 torpedo wielding monsters that are stealth can I put on this? So as you're coming at me, all my guys are waiting in the wings to blow up your capital ship. That's what I'm looking forward to. So it's got a massive cargo bay. It's got 3,792 cargo capacity. This is important to me because if I'm not using this in a combat capacity, I'm going to be using it as in industrial capacity. I'm going to land my mole on this thing. Or take my rock hull and put it on this thing. It's a lot of cargo. And it's got repair and refuel. So you can use this as a mobile industry base. Dragonfly Bay. If you want to do some scouting. I can't remember how many dragonflies. Does it say? It doesn't say. I'm assuming a couple. Engineering? Okay, cool. It's got engineering. Turrets? It's got a shit ton of turrets on here. I wonder if it gives me the breakdown. Yeah, it's sold out. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for reminding me that I failed on my wave 1 attempt. Either way, it's like size 8s, a shit ton of twin size 5s, size 4s. If you come at this, you better have some firepower. It's a capital ship. It's got so many guns on it. And then on top of that, all the fighters are force multiplier. But yeah, and then I don't know if they have anything on the privateer. I'm not interested in that. I get why some people like it, but in real money, it's a shit ton extra. I just can't justify that personally. But if that's your thing, more power to you. If I can't get my ship in Wave 1, I may actually end up with the Drake pack. Which, I guess I could show you... What the... Okay, well, this is broken. This is angry at me. The Drake pack is... Holy shit, it went up. 4,900. 4,900. Now the problem is, and I really wish they hadn't done this, it comes with a Kraken and a Kraken Privateer. Now what the hell do I need 2 carriers for? I wish it would have given you a choice. Like, do you want or given you a Kraken with the upgrade kit to take it to the Privateer? But yeah, they just figured, well, some asshole will pay for this, and yes, I will probably pay for this if I can't get my Kraken today. But yeah, all hail Star Citizen and the gods of Roberts. That is Defensecon, though. That is what we have here. It's going to be a sweet capital ship. I can't wait. A lot of the other ships that Drake has are awesome. And actually, in the game, now that I think about it, Drake probably has the most comprehensive ship lineup that has active gameplay in it. If you haven't looked at some of the stuff, I would suggest that you do. I think that's going to be it for the day. I might do an update tomorrow if and when I win my Drake Caterpillar. We'll see. Or Caterpillar, fucking Kraken. We'll see what happens. But that's it for today. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment below. If you got any questions, throw them in the comments. I'll get to them as soon as I can. And this is Hell.